me ask you a question, right? Are you pro-choice?
I am.
Okay, let's say a guy knocks up his 20-year-old girlfriend and she wants to keep it. What do you say to the man who says, I'm not financially ready to be a father, I am not prepared to be a parent? What do you say to him?
I agree with you. You should encourage her to get rid of it.
Let's say she's steadfast, good word, she's not going to get the abortion. She wants to keep it. What do you tell to the man? Wouldn't you say something along the lines of, you should have kept your legs closed, you shouldn't have had sex with her if you didn't want to do that?
You might be asking the wrong person, because I would not say that.
Would you be in favor of legal paternal surrender? Woman wants to keep it, the man doesn't. He could make some sort of decision where he's like, okay, I don't want to be financially responsible for the child, I don't want custody, and he could opt out.
If both sides know what they're agreeing to, I would
No,
support
the other side, the woman doesn't have to agree to that. If you have the right to murder a child, I at least ought to have the right to abandon it.
So what do you think about that? He's right. Let's start with you.
God damn. I mean, he's not wrong in a sense. A lot of women, they try to preach, I'm a single mom, I'm doing this by myself. But I feel like a conversation has to be had early on. Okay, what's gonna happen? What would we do if you were, pregnant? What's gonna happen? As a man, my personal opinion, you never know what you're ready for until it happens. Like if you're saying, okay, I'm not financially ready, I'm not doing this, you got to get your shit together, man, because, life is not a straight line. Life doesn't wait for you to get ready for anything. So if, it's not wrong for, I guess, him saying that, I don't know, I'm on the fence where one side is like, all right, you're not ready, but you did this, now you got to get your shit together, versus I'm not ready, I'm abandoning. Like, I'm really on the fence, because abandoning your child is wrong, but also you got to step on it because you did the crime. Well, not necessarily the crime, but you did it, and now you got to kind of own up to what you did and raise the child.
Well, for me is, what are the laws here right now for if a man doesn't want the child and the woman does? What are the laws in the United States?
Child support.
The laws are all designed in the woman's favor. Mm-hmm. So if the woman gets pregnant, it is the baby is now part of her body. And so everything is designed with that in mind. So she has the right or not the right of aborting the child, depending on how that shit's going to play out. But that's still, if she decides to get an abortion, the man has nothing to say. If she decides to keep the child, the man has nothing to say. If she decides to keep the child, then the man can be financially obligated to that child through legal means. So he can fuck around and she gets pregnant and he can say, oh, I don't want a child, and then she says, well, I want to keep the child, and then she takes him to court, and then he's obligated financially for the next 18 years of this child's life. And so what this guy is saying, Brian is saying, is that's unfair. That if the woman gets to decide that she wants to keep the child, then the man should have the right to say he doesn't want anything to do with this child or her. And so that's how he's seeing it. Mm-hmm. Now, the way, not necessarily the way I see it, but I do see it this way. But you have to remember there's natural laws that govern everything we do, whether we are aware of those natural laws or not. And natural laws demand a different sense of responsibility from the man than what it does from the woman. Okay? Men are here, according to natural law now, not me. Women are here to have babies. Now, women can be telephone operators, and they can be police women, they can do whatever, lawyers and accountants, they can do whatever the fuck they want. But according to natural laws, they're here to have babies, okay? A man is here to create, not necessarily babies, though. He is here to create things for the world. Now, the process and the energy that we use to create a child, or the process and the energy that we use to create a film, a song, a building, a bridge, an industry, all of that's the same in energy. Now, why those laws favor the women? Because the responsibility is incumbent upon the man to not stick his dick into something unless he's fully aware of the outcome. So once you decide, I want the pleasure of sticking my dick in this chick, now she's got a baby, you are in the world of the emotions now. You are in the female world now. In order to remain in the male world, in order to remain in the logical world, then you don't stick your dick in there at all. And then you never give up that control. You never give up that power. But you don't decide to play Russian roulette with your sperm, which is basically what you're doing. You're playing Russian roulette with your sperm for the pleasure of it. Saying, so what the argument is okay, I got a basic understanding. I think I know how this chick is going to respond if she gets pregnant. You know what I'm saying? It may go this way. So you're not fully aware. You ain't signed no NDA. You ain't signed no NDA with her. You shouldn't be touching nobody without an NDA anyway in this world. You know, I mean, even if you're going first date sex, we got to sit down and go through this NDA. It's that simple. If she can't see the sex appeal and the romanticism in signing the NDA, then that's not compatible with me anyway. But everybody's different. Now, if you go into a situation fully aware, and the reason why nature penalizes the man once the woman gets pregnant, because the male has more responsibility towards his creative powers. You don't have to create a baby. You can create something in the world. You can create a car. You can create a plane. You can create an atomic bomb, a bridge. All of this is done by men that use that creative energy to better the world, not to have the pleasure of making a baby and then argue with some chick about whether or not she's going to keep the baby. So remember, masculine energy is active. So active energy means it responds. That means the responsibility always lies with the male. Responsibility doesn't lie with the female. The nature doesn't see the female that has to be responsible for anything. And that's why divorce laws favor them. That's why marriage favors them. That's why child custody favors them. That's why everything favors them, because nature does not demand that they're responsible. Nature demands that we are responsible. So anytime you got a man that's making an argument for less responsibility, he's making an argument to be a woman. I don't want the responsibility. Women, you hear these guys all the time talking about, well, women got it so good. No, they don't. All the pain and the heartaches and the challenges and everything that comes along with being a man, you should get off on that. You should love being a man. Everything about it, the hardships, the setbacks, all that is what is incumbent upon men. That's what makes us men. Whatever it is, we got to get drafted, we got to go to war, fucking bring it on. Historically, you don't get glory unless you go to war. Glory is where you get, war is where you get glory. Give me my fucking chance to go to war so I can, if I survive and I can come back and I got glory, that's glory. That's reserved for men. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's a false argument that he's making there. He's making an argument that what his argument is that men should be treated the same as women. That's what he's saying. I don't want to be treated like a woman. If that means more responsibility on me, that means shit is harder for me, that means shit is more unpleasant for me, so be it.
I think he's trying to go tit for tat for women that want to invade the male space, or they want equality. But it lowers the entire argument.
It lowers the argument. You can't. So women have been making this argument that they want to break down male boundaries. The whole thing started, women want to get in the workplace. They want equal rights in the workplace. They want the right to vote. And I'm not saying nothing is wrong with any of that. There's nothing wrong with any of that. If a woman wants to work, she wants to vote, she wants to be a CEO, she wants to whatever the fuck she wants to do, yes, afford her that opportunity. That's not what I'm saying. But the retaliation to that response should not be, okay, now we want to play female sports. You got a woman, she want to play baseball with us. Okay, now we want to swim with women. You can't. A man can't respond to a woman the way a woman responds, because nature gives her a different playing field. According to the laws of nature, we are held to a different standard than what women are. Women are here for luxury. They're here for art. They're here for pleasure. They're here for those things. Working for them is an option. Some women say, you know what, I want to work. That's fine. That's, applaud them if that's what they want to do. If they want to participate and make laws correct, and they want to be a part of business and invent things and be a part of science, all that's amazing. But that's an option for them. They're here to sit back and enjoy life and be a thing of pleasure and be a thing of beauty. There's nothing on a male's body that is built for this sole purpose of pleasure. There's nothing about us that's built for pleasure. Everything about us is built for work. The woman's body, however, has an organ called a clitoris. The only purpose of a clitoris is for her pleasure. It has no other utility.
You don't think a penis is built for pleasure?
No. You can get pleasure from a penis, but that's not what it's for. A penis is for procreation. Now, the procreative process, we get pleasure from it, but that's not what it's for. That you can trace that back to the what is it called? The mythology of the Bible, or the metaphor in the Bible, when it says Eve gave him the fruit. Eve gave Adam the fruit, and God said, I saw y'all walking around in the Garden of Eden, you was butt naked. And now you covering yourself up. And then Adam tells God, like, well, you gave me this woman, and then you told me not to eat the fruit, and then she ate the fruit, and then I ate the fruit. Man, it's a metaphor. Sex is not for our pleasure. Sex is for utility. Sex is for the woman's pleasure. And that's why she has a clitoris. That's the symbol of her pleasure. She's here to receive pleasure. That's not what we're here for. We can't, as a man, you can never be in the pursuit of pleasure. You're always supposed to be in the pursuit of challenge. You're always supposed to be in the pursuit of hard work or smart work and more challenges and taking calculated risk. That's what the man is here for. And when you program yourself from that, that's where your pleasure comes from. The pleasure of establishing and taking calculated risk and defeating those calculated risks is the equivalent of 100 orgasms. When you set something up, you set it up, and you taking a calculated risk and you succeed, sexual pleasure can't compare to that. But until you get in that mindset where you have set your life up to take calculated risk, and you know what it feels like to take calculated risk repeatedly and keep winning on those calculated risks, then you receiving a pleasure that's much more intense than you get when you busting a nut. And so that's how you know what the utility of your sexual energy is. That's how you know what the utility of being a man is. It doesn't matter if you're taking calculated risk by understanding Bitcoin, or you taking calculated risk in any arena. But that's what we're here for, is to study, learn, conquer, calculated risk, to build, to create, not to fuck. That is the reward.
Do you think, you talk about that calculated risk, made me think of gambling. Our men and women that are addicted to gambling are stimulating that part of their brain, except they're doing it, they're gambling and there's barely any chance of winning. And they're just losing their money, like just stimulating that part of their brain.
That's exactly what it is. That proclivity towards gambling is born in the fact that you're designed to take calculated risk. And so that gambling becomes a form of what you see to be a calculated risk, but it's a gamble. Now, smart people learn and understand the stock market. That's real. That's true calculated risk. That's gambling for smart people. You know, if you go to the casino and you just gambling in the thing, that's not to say that those people are dumb. You got some people that get really lucky. You got people that know how to count cards. You got people that know all kind of mechanics about, gambling and cards and all those things. So I'm not saying they're dumb or anything, but what I'm saying it is a different type of deviation from what a calculated risk would be, but it is not dissimilar to it.
But it seems like the gambling industry knows what you're talking about right there, and they're exploiting it. Making money obviously off of the strengths of a human being, because a human being is willing to make that extra gamble and get the dopamine level up. From winning that small amount, obviously losing more in gambling, but in real life, you're going to be winning more than losing.
Yeah, absolutely. All vices are designed to exploit proclivities. You know what I mean? If you have a untrained proclivity towards calculated risk, you may have a propensity for an addiction to gambling. That's just how vices are set up. If you're a man that's pleasure seeking, if you don't understand that your real pleasure is in taking on calculated risk in business and in the world and in your craft, if you don't understand that that's your male design, then you will think that sexual pleasure is a part of your being. You will think that your penis is meant for pleasure, and that's not what it's meant for. It's meant to give pleasure. It's not for your pleasure.
In a slightly different subject, I saw an interesting study where for years now, for the last 20 years of video games, most of the times the video game industry has been able to hook the male, not the female, majority of the time. Until what happened was the Angry Birds game on the phones, and women would play because all you have to do is swipe from middle to the right. And that's where they got addicted. Now, the female brain, for some odd reason, loves that stimulus. And then from there, you get Instagram. You get these dating apps where you're just swiping. You're just swiping from middle to the right or to the left. And women, their brain just fireworks from there. And, you have all these apps now doing that just to stimulate the female side of the brain and get them hooked.
I didn't know that, but it makes perfect sense. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you have people that study, brain chemistry and neurological effects on different things, stimuli and proclivity toward this and weaknesses towards that. Like there's people that get paid to study that, and so there's always going to be a degree of exploitation with people that succumb to their vices. Society doesn't have to give a shit about you if you succumb to your vices, but society will milk you dry if you're going to spend your whole life in an opium den, or you're going to spend your whole life in a chicken ranch or a whorehouse, or in a casino. Society is going to provide those means for you, because at the end of the day, we all come here to find that thing we love to do and let it kill you. You see what I'm saying? So hopefully that thing you find that you love to do, that you're going to let kill you, in that due process, you are giving something to the world. You are building something. You are building an industry. You are perfecting a business. You are writing a book. You are doing something, and you're going to let that process kill you, but you are dying for the world. You see what I mean? As opposed to finding something that you're going to let kill you and you're dying for yourself. So you're going to end up dying in a whorehouse, or you're going to die in an opium den. You see what I mean?
I think one of the biggest problems in society that I see is, and including myself, I've been taught that, I was born here by accident. This is all an accident, right? Just make the best out of it. Enjoy life as much as you can, because we're all gonna die. I think that's a wrong way to look at it now, obviously. But if you look at it that way, and if I'm in a whorehouse, it'd be like, hey, man, it's better than being an alcoholic, right? I'll stay here and just enjoy the rest of my life. And, hey, anyways, I'm not coming back. This has been an accident. I'm here by accident. I'm going to enjoy it. See you later, right? So, and then person that is, gambling is like, well, at least I'm not shooting up dope. I'm gambling. I'm wasting my time. I'm accidentally here. Same kind of point, right?
Yeah.
So if we can change that train of thought, in a younger generation, in the next generation, and keep it hopefully there, where we can motivate the next generation, would be amazing, because you're not starting off with that train of thought where I'm here by accident, just make the best out of it, and probably I won't make it to be a scientist, but hey, I'm gonna just enjoy it.
The best chances for those people, like you said, some people are going to feel like they're accidents to be here. You have some people that feel like neither one of their parents wanted them. My father didn't want me. My mother didn't want me. You got people that feel like that all the time. You got people that feel like their father didn't want them. You got people that feel like their mother. And you got people that feel like both. The best cure for those people are military service. That's the best cure.
Because you're getting that family in military. You're getting that brotherhood.
Yeah. You're getting everything. You're getting a sense of purpose. You're getting a calling. You're getting a tribal love. You're getting a tribal identity. You're getting a national identity. You're getting your ego pounded down to understand that you don't mean shit. The team means something. You see what I'm saying? So although you came into the construct believing that you are an accident or you have no purpose, now you do have a purpose, because you got to make sure the guy stands next to you stays alive. So all of a sudden you got the highest purpose, because you might not give a shit about yourself, but you're being programmed to understand, I got to give a shit about my brother. I don't care if I die or not, but I care if he dies. You see what I'm saying? So you are, when you're reprogrammed that way, nature's got nothing but love and respect for you. When you become fearless like that, the last thing you got to worry about is dying. Nature will turn you into a hero. If you go to war and you're scared to death and you shitting your pants and you constantly farting in the tank and all of that, then you got chicken shit in your blood. Nature can't do nothing with you. But if you go over there fearless, natural laws say we love him. Let's make a hero out of him. Like, that's what we was looking for, the ones that are fearless. So the ones that are fearless are always going to come back with medals on their chest. And that doesn't mean that the ones come back in body bags weren't fearless. So that's no disrespect to any fallen soldier. So that's not what I'm saying. Anybody, a hero can come back in a body bag as well, and a coward can come back with medals on his chest, So, sometimes the chips just fall where they may. But, as far as if we circle back around to this clip, a man has to approach life through a different lens than a woman does. And so what these guys are doing and why they need to be stopped is because they're programming boys to think like women. And they're doing it at the level of a virus, because a lot of them have podcasts now. And we don't have enough guys out here with podcasts that actually know what the hell they're talking about. We've got these guys out here that are actually been really wounded, and they're scarred, and they're like wounded deers, and they don't see any greatness in themselves. All they can see is average. They think they're average. They think they have no greatness within them. They have no perspective on the whole. They have no deep, protracted thought processes. They don't understand how their fear is programming the next generation. So they scared to death of these women to get bodies. They're scared to death to get a girl pregnant. But they're also scared that a woman is not going to want them. They're scared of everything. And they don't realize that that's their whole conversation is based on their fears. None of what they say, they may say they're high value, or they may say that they're alpha, but they're not, because everything they're saying is fear-based.
I don't necessarily think it's fair though. I think it's more of a choice. Like, if I don't want a kid and you do, I feel like that should be, it's a choice because I don't want a kid. Like, we're talking about body counts. I just choose choose to not be with a woman who has a high body count. It's not because I'm scared of her. It's just that's
no. I don't mean in that particular instance. What I mean is, as a rule, nature requires a higher standard from you. So if you don't want a woman with body count, if you don't want a baby, nature gives you. That's why I say pleasure. We're not here for pleasure. We're here to give pleasure. The penis is not here for our own pleasure, although if you use it, you get pleasure from it, but that's never supposed to be your focus. Your focus is to give pleasure with it. Mm-hmm. So, and if you take that and you transmute that to a higher level, it's going to have the same purpose because you're trying to give something to the world. You see what I mean? Mm. The goal of a man is to build something that outlives him. I mean, at its lowest register, that's what you do with sex. When you procreate and you make a baby, your intention is to create something that outlives you. That's your son or your daughter is going to outlive you. But more in particular, your son. This is a male version of me. I continue on, he outlives me. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. But there is a higher register for that same energy. You can build something in the world that outlives you, your legacy. Your legacy does not just have to be your son or your offspring. Your legacy can be something that you leave in the world. So by nature giving us a higher register for the outlet of our sexual energy, it holds you to a higher standard when you choose to use that sexual energy at the lowest register. So if you don't want a baby, nature expects a man to be able to walk away from sex at a moment's notice. That's what nature demands of us. So if you are in the throes of passion with the sexiest, most voluptuous and soft and most beautiful woman in the world, and you done peeled up panties out her ass and y'all about to go at it, and you done bought her amazing dinner. You done bought her a diamond bracelet. You done all this, and then, and you throwing on the bed, and then all of a sudden she said, you know what? I'm having second thoughts. I don't know if this is right for me. I think I want to wait. You know what nature expects you to do? Is be a fucking man and say, you know what? That's your choice. And walk the fuck away.
With or without the bracelet?
Yeah, okay. I mean, we
Taking
can
the bracelet.
You can take the bracelet.
Depending on
I'm
the
just
man.
saying. I mean, that's, I mean, I guess we can get into that discussion. But nature expects you to have.
But what does nature expect us to do with the bracelet?
I don't know about the bracelet, but I do know nature expects you to have full restraint of your sexual energy at all times. That's why the woman has the option to change her mind at any moment. That's why she has that option. She can change her mind. Now, all of a sudden, women can change them. They can throw themselves at you, and they can hawk talk all over you all they want. And then 2 weeks later, she can say, I had second thoughts. I don't know if I really agreed to that whole experience.
I've had this situation, actually.
You see
what I did? What? And I just did it subconsciously, I guess. I pulled out cards. We played poker.
That's exactly it. But that's what nature demands of a man. Complete and absolute fucking discipline. That's what nature needs from every single man. Because what happens then, life goes on to a higher register. You see, if women lay around on social media their entire lives and they shake their asses in their underwear their whole life and they rack up as many bodies as they want their whole life, the human species won't suffer from that. The human species won't suffer from that because they'll just get pregnant whenever they get pregnant. It's time to get pregnant and babies will be made. But if men choose to lay around on their ass and watch porn and look at social media and not try to build something in the world, life suffers progress comes to a halt. Government becomes bad government when men are not demanding good government. And we're living in a society where we actually having more women are demanding good government than what the men are. Men are supposed to be demanding good government. That's not their responsibility. That's our responsibility. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, I understand what you mean from the perspective of I don't want to have a baby right now. But nature says if you're not sure what her reactions are or if you want to have a baby, nature expects sex to be very, very easy for you to give up. It should be an afterthought. There should be books that you can read that feels better than having sex all night long. That's how nature looks at it. There's processes, languages to learn, all kind of things. Nature expects far more from us as men than the pursuit of pleasure. So therefore, when a man loses his way at a moment's notice in the pursuit of pleasure, nature does not have any utility for you. It will punish you.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I feel like, for sex, we have condoms now, which makes it a lot, I guess, easier for us to be careful without to not have babies. I don't think just because, we choose to have sex, we are a weak-minded. It depends. I'm saying that to an extent. Like, if you're somebody who's like, oh, man, I got to have sex every day, I need it, that's a weak-minded man. But trying to get it here and there, I don't think it's make you weak-minded.
I'm not saying it makes you weak-minded. I mean, sex is there for a reward. I haven't had an orgasm in over 8 years now.
You said how long?
8 years. That doesn't mean I don't have sex, but I don't have sex for my own pleasure. You see, sex is either a tool or a weapon. Now, if you don't understand that, then for the men who don't understand that, that means sex is a weapon against you. Either society is going to use sex as a weapon against you, or a woman is going to use sex as a weapon against you. See what I mean? So, I write and I read, and I write and I read and I study and I meditate, but I don't have sex for my own pleasure. And when you don't have sex for your own pleasure, you're going to get 1,000 times more pleasure out of it. It's a different register. You can't, if you just having sex, just think about the mechanics behind the male orgasm. All it takes for us to have an orgasm is a little bit of friction and a little firework. That's all you get out of the process. You know how much work you get how much pleasure you get out of finishing a script or a book or learning another language. It doesn't even compare to the firework that you can get. And you can have some pretty impressive fireworks, but it's just a simple firework at the end of the day. The woman is designed where she can have so many different avenues of orgasms. There's so many different types of orgasms that a woman can have. We can't have those orgasms. So that tells you right there that's not what we're here for. We're here to either create a baby or create something in the world. We blast our firecracker off into a chick. We get a little cracker for that. You get a cookie, and that is that firework. If you create a baby, you get a cookie, and that's your firework. If you create something in the world, you get a much bigger firework. And a woman, our fireworks are like the 4th of July. She's got multiple types of orgasms that she can have that we can't have. Why do you think so many dudes out here trying to be women?
You heard of the soft guy era?
We're in the soft guy era. These dudes want to be women because they want the pleasure that women feel. We're not designed to feel what they feel because we're here for hard work. I mean, it's physical work. Hard work doesn't always have to be physical work. It can be mental work. It can be, mentally laborious, but it don't have to be physical, but we're here for work. And, the penis is just the utility to give her pleasure and to make a baby. I mean, put that thing away until you got to piss. And that's it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you're not a bad guy if you want to, have sex on the weekend for your reward. I worked all week. I want a little bit of pussy. I want to smell some pussy on the weekend. That's okay. That's not what, that doesn't make you a bad guy. But it can not be about pleasure. You have to be about work, and sex is the reward. It always has to be built on that construct. You see what I mean? A woman can live her life with the goal being pleasure, because we are required by two different things. We have different requirements according to natural law. So a woman can live her whole life in the pursuit of pleasure. She's not going to be violating natural laws if she does. If you live your life in the pursuit of pleasure, you're violating natural laws, and you'll be penalized at some point in your life for that.